So, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Kind Inside the Treatment Room. Today, we are zooming straight across the world to Illinois to talk to Irene from Tahnyc. Tahnyc is one of the brands that we stock at Clean Beauty Market, and it is phenomenal. It is filler free, pumped with actives, pumped with peptides, and we recommend it to pretty much every person that comes into my clinic and the shop as well. So, Irene, say hi.
Oh, hi, it's really great to be here. Thank you for having me. We needed to do this.
We did, yes. It's been long overdue.
Yeah.
My very first episode of this was with Erin. We did a facial on her, and honestly, it just blew up. Like, obviously, she's got beautiful skin. Everyone wanted to know
Yeah.
what she was using, and when she recommended it, like our tonic sandwich went through the roof.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't know she's got beautiful skin. And I love both of them. I love her and Chris together. They're like the perfect couple. I was
Right,
great
yeah,
skin.
yeah. We call them our mum and dad. They take care of us all here.
I love it. No,
Perfect.
they're awesome as a couple and just as founders.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So I think what we might do is just get started. What do you
Do
reckon?
it. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So when we're talking about fillers in skincare,
Yeah.
for a lot of people that don't know, fillers are used to make the product feel quite silky or smooth. It can
Right.
add texture to the product as
Yes.
well. It can also be used as, for a lot of the times, a cheap filler to bulk up the product to
Yeah.
make the production a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
right.
that's why I think I'm just obsessed with tonic because you don't have any of that in your product.
Right.
And it's still a reasonably good price.
Yeah. I mean, and that's part of it too, is that you're working with the inactive ingredients. Okay. And sometimes in the formula, it will be bulked out or it will create a silky texture or, a thicker moisturizer. But the truth of the matter is that you really don't need those inactive ingredients. And that was what I kind of realized in the beauty space when years ago when we founded Tonic is that I just wanted something that was neat without any add-ons, without anything else in the formula, and I wanted it to work. With actives, what I realized was that all these actives are very much like water. In fact, almost all of them are. So that's why all the formulas feel like water. Peptides are also feel like water. A lot of these molecular actives very much are like that, unless they're, oil soluble or something or lipid soluble. And so it creates a completely different experience, but also there's nothing on your skin. It is just skin and then the actives and cell communicating. And we only work with cell communicating peptides. And the difference between that is not all peptides are equal. Some peptides are derived from plant derived. We don't work with botanical derived or blue biotech. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Peptides. We primarily work and only really focus on cell communicating peptides that talk to your own skin cells because the idea here is to have your own skin do that work to
Yeah.
be, to clear pigmentation, to work on acne. And so that's how we focus on skin health and how we think about skin.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand either. Clean, natural, low tox skincare, it doesn't have to be 100% derived from our environment. It doesn't have to always be natural botanicals. You can still have lab derived ingredients that are still going to be clean. They're
Yeah.
not going to disrupt your endocrine system and they're not going to be toxic to your
Mhm.
body or you.
Right. And I agree with you. And it's just how you focus and how you work with the formula. Like for us, we work with molecules. Like we'll say that a lot in the way that we talk about products. Molecules are essentially ingredients that exist in your skin. So this would be like cinnamide,
Yeah.
this exists in your skin, panthenol, this exists in your skin. So your skin doesn't realize the difference between it and the
Mm.
actual active. And so it's
Yeah.
being replenished and it's doing that work for you, essentially.
Yeah, 100%. So with the peptides that you use in tonic, I do know within the bioplasma there is a peptide in that stimulates fibroblast growth. Do a lot of the other peptides focus on that, or is it more just preventing the collagen degeneration?
No, so peptides themselves, there are a lot of peptides. It's not just collagen focused, or there's an anti-inflammatory, anti-allergy, there's something to soothe the facial nerve. There are peptides that are focused on that are antimicrobial, such as in bio.
Mm,
So it's a different way to think about and attack acne and work with acne prone
yeah.
skin. But not all peptides focus on collagen. So in bioplasma specifically, yes, because that particular formula is directed, it is anti-aging, it's focused on restoring
Mm,
aging, it's focused on restoring collagen. But something like Biosphere, right, is focused completely a little differently, where we're looking to build out the facial fat volume. So we're looking to give you a different kind of, like, a more natural alternative to a filler that is stimulating your own fat skin cells to do that work for you, to build this volume. And this can be used, here, it can be used here. I mean, you can really work with the formula that way.
I've noticed as well that there's a couple of products that you can use post cosmetic procedures. You can use them post, muscle relaxant,
Exactly.
facial
Yeah.
fix.
Yeah, it's really dependent on, I mean, there's a lot of things that we focus on as far as accomplishing results, but as far as peptides specifically, like, you can work on redness and inflammation or nerve inflammation. We can focus on something like Complex B will focus on stimulating collagen to address dryness or to address reactive skin. And essentially,
Mm,
we're working with a peptide to jumpstart the skin and to reactivate the skin in a different way than you would with an aging product, if you will.
yeah, definitely, 100%. There's there's an ingredient I want to get inside your head about. It's the oligopeptide one.
Okay.
So that's different to human oligopeptide one, which is a growth
Yeah,
factor.
so peptide, you're talking about a human grade EGF. No, this one is not, it's a synthetic version. Okay, so it's
Okay.
not right. There are different ways to that you can source peptides. This is a lab-based peptide. It is not human grade. So it's not
Mm,
derived from different human skin cells, if you will, or cells.
yeah.
Um, but this one is a synthetic lab made.
And do they work similarly?
They do, but I mean, the human growth factor is, the creme de la creme of the world, if you will. But there's also a lot of questions around that, a lot of ethics, if you will. It just depends on what you're looking to do and how you're looking to work with skin. As far as a peptide that's synthesized, a lot of them are synthetic, and it's just a cleaner way to create a product, and it's in a very confined method, meaning that it's not like a botanical that might have impurities. This is a lab made product that is filtered for to take out impurities, and it's in a very technical way that is created. So it
Yeah.
just depends on, like, on the type of experience you're looking for. Not
Okay.
that
Yeah.
that human AGF is not amazing.
I have heard great things. Yeah, you don't know, but it's good that you've got those different types of peptides in them. Would you say that peptides are more of like a fragile ingredient? Like, is there anything particular that degrades them quite quickly, like light or heat?
So peptides themselves are extremely fragile in their powder form. Okay. So
Okay.
when a peptide is created, it's not in a liquid form. It's a peptide itself is a tiny amount of powder. It's literally in grams. It's measured in grams. When it gets suspended, it takes on a different form. As far as fragility, I think that just good hygiene. And one of the things too is like with our bottles themselves, the new signature bottles, we really
Mhm.
think about that as far as how the neck is structured, where it's so small and the entrance is smaller so that you do not get as much air into the product. And just
Yeah.
overall, the way that the product is encased in a black. Exactly. Contour is amazing. It is a staple. um,
Contour is our absolute staple. It is our
yeah,
Bible. We
yeah,
live by it.
I love it. I think that as far as like for us, we've really developed a very strict baseline and preservation system. So I never really worry about that, where it's not like a free roaming product. It's extremely stable. It's very well preserved as long as you're not decanting it into it's
Right.
not
That's
a
when the
wine.
oxygen gets in, the bacteria starts forming. We don't want
Right,
that.
right. I know that sometimes that people do, but it's just not a really hygienic way to handle any beauty product. You know what I mean? You just don't
No.
want to remove it from its native sterile environment, which is the bottom.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And when you're formulating a product, how do you know, I guess, how much a particular peptide to use? Obviously, as you said, it comes in a powder form, so it's quite it's quite concentrated to begin with.
Peptides. So this is a unique question. It's really
Okay.
unique question. So peptides themselves are a formula that's created in percentages of the active suspension. But peptide strength, not every peptide is equal. Peptides are measured in different strengths, and they're measured in something that's called ppm. Peptide might be the same peptide, you might use the same peptide, but it might not be in the same strength, depending on where and how the peptide is created. So
Yeah.
for us, when we measure peptides and we think about peptides, the proprietary actual platform, what makes us so unique is that the suspension of the peptide is the, if you will, the trade secret, what makes Tahnyc so special as far as performance, is that it's very, very unique to us in the sense of how the peptide is suspended and how it penetrates the skin. So that system, which is different than the formulatory system, that is the proprietary tonic system that we've developed that makes us in the space, then more of a technical space in the not necessarily the beauty space, but in I would say the science space unique.
Yes. Yeah,
So
definitely. That's why you guys stand out. That's why we love you.
yes, that is
Definitely.
priceless. Yeah. So yes, so you might find these peptides in different formulas because they're peptides. You can get different peptides from different formulas or different manufacturers as well. But what makes tonic so unique is the strength of our actual peptide. So
Yeah. No, I love that. That's so good to know. The absorption rate of peptides.
yeah,
Okay. There's they're quite small of a
yes,
molecule.
right, right. So as far as the, like, this is great. You're like, and that's a lot of it. It's very
I've
so people are
my brainstormed all of these together. I can't take full credit for it. I've got my little nerd in the back here.
I'm gonna be digging me off. It's like I'm wondering, like, are people really
Well, people do come in, and I think because the way that the internet is at the moment and how the
yeah,
beauty world's completely grown up, people know ingredients. They know what to
yeah,
look for. They come in and they're like, okay, this has got peptides in it. What peptides are in it? Like they want
really
you to know
interesting.
all these things. So it's great to be able to share that information with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because we were just talking about that with my team and we were discussing, we get questions and it's a lot about, I want you to talk to me like I'm 5 years old and just tell me what I need to do. And that's what we
Yeah.
get a lot. So we're
Yeah,
just
okay.
discussing whether people really want to know what's inside, or are they just, do they want us to guide them? And that's interesting that what you're saying. So yes, peptides do penetrate the skin. The molecule is extremely small. And for us, because it's not a plant-derived peptide and it's a cell communicating peptides, essentially that's what we focus on, and having them communicate with your own skin cells. That's kind of my focus as far as just what I wanted to accomplish with Tonic and how I see the formulas. Because in the end, I really just feel like I want the skin to do the work, and that was always because of my allergy and where I kind of found myself. I realized that I wanted a solution where these were doing the work, and my skin was actually doing it, and my skin was recovering it. So we're very choosy in the how we select a peptide, how we focus on it, and how we include it in a formula.
It makes such a difference. Are there any, I guess, misconceptions about peptides that just drive you crazy?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes. So here's a good one. I just did a video on this and talked about it. So a peptide or any skin product cannot literally lift your face and give you a plastic surgery.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like it will not, it might relax your glabella muscle, but it's not gonna be your tox. It's just not. I mean, it's no matter how strong it is and how often you apply it will relax it. It will keep the muscle from, spazzing, but it doesn't mean that you're going to accomplish the same relaxation.
Yeah.
It will not lift. I talk to women a lot, and they just tell me, I just really, what I want is my face just lifted. Like, can you do this? It's like these skin moves lower. You're talking about skin cell turnover at 45 days. So, like, these are very, very minor changes that you see. And even like for skin to, and I think we're just really hard on our skin. Like, I look at skin in my Facebook group, and I see this big jump that skin has accomplished by building volume around the eye. But your skin did this work. I mean, that's kind of amazing that it was able to rebuild this for you.
Yeah.
I think that most people think that they're going to, like, how skincare works is it's very slow moving, and as far as gravity really building volume, it's not going to tighten in this way as far as permanent, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it will build out volume, and you can use that to have that smoothness to the skin. You can use it to address acne. You can use it to address redness and just overall that kind of healthy glow, right? That glow, that dewiness, that, like where you wash your face, like I wash my face and my skin looks just like this without any, like I'm not wearing makeup. I just wear moon dust. Right now I'm just wearing moon
Yeah.
dust. And so when I wash my face, it'll look just like that. And that's what I, expect. That's what I want,
Yeah.
that healthy glow. Um, so I think that's a big misconception of as far as like how to bleach out, and then also how long it takes to clear acne. Listen,
Yeah. Yes, definitely. There's talking about acne, there's a product that you've got, biome.
yeah.
What's the type of bacteria that the biome
So
helps to subdue?
let me, LZ1 is addresses most common form of acne. It is LZ1 is an antimicrobial peptide. Okay, so it works very similarly to a lot of antimicrobials by minimizing the bacteria in acne. Now, in that formula specifically, we're using nonapeptide 1, which is also for pigmentation. And then we're using another peptide called tetrapeptide 40, which is also for anti-inflammatory. So These three peptides together are in a very concentrated form. And the reason we developed that particular biome specifically was because I was talking to people who struggle with acne. And there's not a lot as far as, at least, there's your prescription, and then there's some acids that you can work with. But some people are, they're at a state where it's so inflammatory that they are not able to tolerate an acid or an active or even a retinol. So, or retinoid. So we wanted to develop something that was an antimicrobial that would address acne in a peptide format, which is much gentler as far as side effects, if you will. So it does not, because it feels like water, the application process is different. And while it works like an antimicrobial, it's a lot more tolerated and very, very gentle on the skin. So I do love that product, and I use it as well, just as a preventative. But that particular product is very unique to us. The formula itself is extremely unique to us. There are different ways to think about particular acne vulgaris, and that's what it particularly targets, which is acne vulgaris is the most common form of acne. So,
and you are right. I mean, it's great to see that there's a product out there that isn't acid based. You do have a lot of ingredients, your glycolic acid, your salicylic acid. They're all great to help control this bacteria and the oil. But when your skin is so inflamed and so impaired, there's just a lot of people that can't tolerate those. So this is a really good add-on as well as an alternative to those type of products.
It's exactly because you can use it in different routines to clear. But one thing, I think people conceptualize it with acne specifically is that skin will absorb it, and a lot of times skin will not. It will push it out. And so you will, especially if there's a lot of congestion, you will purge it out, essentially. Because skin is it's an organ. So it's going to do what
it's an That's what it does.
Exactly. It's going to push it out, it's going to clear it, and then it's going to heal. And then that's what it's meant to do, as a being, if you will, or as an organ.
And you could mix, say, if you've had an acne rosacea skin, you could combine the biome, the neurocell, and possibly the pure membrane on top.
And it's actually a really good way. So and you can do, if you have rosacea pustules, right? Like rosacea acne, let's say, where you flare a lot. So you could combine something like biome, and you can combine a neurocell, or you can do complex B, and then pair that with something like lipids at night, or oilless at night, however, whatever your moisture level is at. But then if you are still in need of addressing rosacea based acne, you could go in over lipids with control A and spot treat to control that inflammation. If, let's say, you need deeper, or you want to, I don't want to say faster result, because that's not really the correct way, but you can use two actives together to control inflammation, if you will.
Yeah, perfect. And for those that don't know, the control A, it's not a retinol, it's a musalic acid.
Pure citron.
Right. It's amazing. It's just pure azelaic acid. So talk to me about that, because that can work really good wonders for the skin. It's potent, it's very strong and intense. But talk to me a little bit more, how would you work that into somebody's skin?
Okay, so I think that right now, the trends in beauty right now is that brands are really pushing acid, and we are much more focused on working with cosmeceuticals first. First point of attack is niacinamide, and then azelaic, because it's a pure suspension, and so it is professional grade acid, and we have it available in 10, 12, and 14%. So it's extremely intense as far as the treatment. We recommend 3 times at night, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Okay. First, over a moisturizer. And I like to, from a technical perspective, like on a professional level, I like to use a really simple hydrator like Lipids because the ingredient control. So, like for someone who is struggling with inflammatory acne, right? And you have a lot of pustules that you're working on, and you're looking to move the skin faster. Okay. You can't necessarily push the skin, but you need that control to control the pustule itself so that it can heal and empty. So one of the things
Yes.
that, we would do is we would pair this with a routine like this. If a person is dry, you can pair hydration veil, or you can work with canvas to control inflammation. On top
Yes.
of that, we would load first biome niacinamide, and then we would use something like Lipids to create an occlusive barrier, and then area treat or spot treat with control A. And we would do that on a daily basis. So we're using several different actives. We're using biome as an antimicrobial, but then we're also using niacinamide as an anti-inflammatory and to help the skin clear faster. And then on top, we would address it with, if you've got a lot of inflammation and it's very intense, we would use control
Yeah, I love that combination.
A. You
That's
can
a
also
good one.
use
I
like
might
in the
steal that.
morning, right? Like you can use
Yeah.
biome and solution C, right?
Mhm.
Because to push, because SAP has antimicrobial properties, you can push the skin, but also keep biome as the first treatment, and then
Yeah.
address. Now you would do these steps to clear. That's that first step to the purge, to clear all the acne out, and you get to that stage where it's almost you stop flaring. It could be as short as a couple of weeks, and it could be as long as couple of a month or so, where the skin just stops, where you get to a point where it's 2 weeks and you have not had any new activity. And then we start shifting focus on healing. And so we switch to a different formula and adjust the routine just a little bit to start moving the skin.
Okay, perfect. And if there's any hyperpigmentation or scarring left, they could pop onto luminescence,
They can pop on
even a bit of noir at night time. Yeah.
Yes. If they're not pregnant or they're not breastfeeding, yes. And also, like, have you? I love to combine noir with salicylic. There's a lot of great results and studies with that, where it's a combination treatment for acne, and that works very well.
Yeah, that's so good. Just over nighttime, like amazing, really phenomenal. Yeah.
I think the biggest question is, how do I do this? So how do I use these formulas to accomplish what I'm looking to do? And so we'll do it before and after, and we'll guide the skin through. So
yeah, and that's why I love these chats, because like as a skin therapist, that's just what I live for. Like I love learning about this sort of stuff, and it's so good to know. But relaying that in a way where the consumer can understand it as well is just so important, because they're getting correct information.
Yeah. And I think that too is like, when you're in you just don't know, like not everybody knows how to use actives, or they're not thinking about things in this particular way. So having access to us with Tahnyc, that makes it easier. There's someone there you can kind of bounce off.
That's so good. Well, we've spoken a lot about peptides. I know it is what Tahnyc is very well versed for. There are other ingredients in your product, so I'd love to talk about them a little bit more as well. One of them being your hyaluronic acid.
Okay.
So you use sodium hyaluronate in your products, but it's a non-frost hyaluronic acid.
Yes.
So what that means is that it's not diluted down, or it's not mixed in with polymers to weaken the form of it. Like it's in its purest form.
Yeah. And I think that it used to be like years ago, and that's all you use is hyaluronic. I think that there's been a motion to kind of introduce polymers and cross-link hyaluronic. So you have a different texture and you have a different finish on the skin. Because it's a film former, a polymer is, it'll just sit on the skin, it'll become more hydrating
Yeah.
as hyaluronic itself changed. We use pure hyaluronic and we use different Dalton sizes depending on what we're trying to accomplish. So for aging, we will use a lower Dalton size of hyaluronic acid, whereas for something like skin soothing or redness control, we will use a medium size hyaluronic. And we rarely use high Dalton size hyaluronic acid, primarily because it is a film former and just sits on top as a layer.
And a lot of people don't know hyaluronic acid is something that our body naturally produces. It makes up, I think it's almost 75% of our dermis, and that's what gives us all of the plumpness. So you do want a good combination of like light to medium molecular weights because you want to be able to soothe the epidermis to also help to plump back out the dermis.
Yeah. And we use that exactly like that, like glass. We use that because it's a very, very hyaluronic loaded product. And we'll use that to build out. I mean, there's different ways to build out and plump out the eye area, but glass is one of them versus like like biosphere, which works with fat cells. Glass will replenish this area very similarly to not very similarly to an injection, because that is just an instant correction. This is much more, application and subtle, where it's like just plump. Especially if you have dark circles, that would work perfect.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right, perfect. We're doing good. We're smashing through these. I tell you what.
I love them.
I thought we were going to steer off topic so many times. We've got plenty of time to steer off topic at the end. We can go a little bit crazy at the end.
I want to know. I'm gonna. Can I ask a question, you guys? I want to know, like, what people like. What's the major concern? Like, what do your clients have as like the major concern? Is it aging, pigmentation, acne?
I would say my major concern that I see in the treatment room is aging. As you said, it was funny when you said everyone wants that lifted face, because that's a lot of white people come and see me. So I do a buccal TMJ massage, and it also works with facial cupping, gua sha. So it's learning the muscles of the face, the fascia within those muscles, and helping to lift and sculpt. So I do personally a lot of that. My second most popular treatment would be acne treating. So I do get a lot of teenagers, a lot of young adults that come in here with acne, all different brands. But I'd say aging would be the top.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like we see, and it's the same thing, aging, pigmentation, and acne are really big top priorities, I think. And like one of the things too is that we, like, from our perspective, we always guide to the same thing, which is aging. It is one thing that you can never really stop. And so it's one thing that you're always working to address. And might as well start at like not 18. That's often.
Yeah. All
No,
these little running baby teenagers are like, I want to stop aging. So you got plenty of time, gal. You got plenty of time.
Oh my God. But that we use collagen it's starting at 18. So that's what I mean, I wish I started thinking about aging around 18. I had no idea until, maybe I was 25 and I was like, wait, what's happening right now?
We got to start doing something.
What is this? Yeah, I mean, and just, just sunscreen would be great. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, less time in the sun would have been great for us growing up. We definitely did not have that knowledge.
Yeah, but it's not that people come in and they're very educated as far as ingredients. So it's super important to not just consume, but also really know what you're putting on skin. That's really important. Yeah. So
when we talk about aging, There's so many different ways that you can bring in many different aspects to help slow that process down. One of them, obviously, as I mentioned, is a lot of your facial massage, things like that at home. But another one is retinol, the vitamin
Yeah.
A. For a lot of people that don't know, vitamin A is the only ingredient that can get into the nucleus of the cell and be able to correct those damages and changes. So with, I know you've got two products, Noir, they're different strengths of retinol. Why did you choose that form of retinol?
So at that, when we created Noir, retinol wasn't quite available, if you will. But
Fantastic.
the one thing we did do is we did test other retinoid derivatives that were available. And so my struggle, I think, when we were, when I used OTC retinoids, is that the dryness, like I just couldn't tolerate it. I couldn't even do once a week. It was just so irritating and slow, and I just kept peeling, and it just wasn't really working. And so when we started working on Noir, we really wanted something very effective. And at that point, retinol wasn't quite as readily available. So we tested several different derivatives, and we decided to work with retinol. Part of it, in the reason for our particular decision, was that we really liked the resurfacing. Okay. So the exfoliating element that comes
Okay.
with it. Okay. And we like using it for these more complex facial lines, the expression lines here and here, to finesse that line. And even around the eye, where it's not that you're removing it, but it just becomes extremely soft and extremely glossy, if you will. But anyway, with our idea was that the key to retinol itself is to be able to use it almost daily, because that's when you see the result. If you're not able to use it, people will always, if I use it once a week, is that enough? And the answer is don't use it at all. Okay. Because once a week is just not enough to deliver much of any result, at least from my perspective, that the consistency with retinol is the key to getting results, is being able to use the formula at least 5 times a day. Yeah, 5 times a week. If you were 5 times a day, that's also excellent. Five, that but 5 times a week. And if you're able to, because it builds up, it's a slow mover as far as delivering results, 6 to 8 weeks before you see much of anything happen, regardless whether you're OTC or you're RX, if you're doing a prescription.
Yeah.
You still need to allow the active to work. So we decided to create a formula, one that will the goal was, how can we make this formula usable every day, where skin is not feeling like you can't, where you want to use it, and where you wake up and skin is looking great. It's not peeling. It's not, sensitive as far as it's red and inflamed. It just looks glossy and hydrated and just healthy. And that's why we kept the Noir formula, and we've just evolved it with bakuchiol, and we've loaded it with ceramide support from lipid support, and also phospholipids to cushion the skin during treatment. So you're not going to peel, you're not going to have a lot of these side effects with retinol. The only thing you may feel is just a little, oh, I got exfoliated. And that's why I love that formula. It's tolerable.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess you would know about having skin ingredients that aren't tolerable for your skin because you've suffered for so long with dermatitis and just
Yeah,
really red, sensitive skin.
exactly. And that is what started Tonic. Like, from my perspective, that story, right? The explanation I always ask, people ask me about the allergy, and they're like, oh, well, you developed, tonic and it's solved, like you cured it. No, if I have a skin condition, and it's not curable, unfortunately,
Yeah.
you know. And so that was just a thing that began a journey to end. Tonic is just a world that we're building that's filler free. It helped my skin, yes, but it's not for, you know, allergic contact dermatitis. That is a very intense skin condition that
Mm.
just is not curable, like acne. You know, it's not
Yeah.
curable. It is ongoing condition. I think that the one thing with tonic is being able to just find that, create that world, like just have people be able to use a really awesome product that they can, you know, it's like you walk into a store and you know that you can trust the formula, the ingredients are right and that they have been looked at and carefully analyzed, and you don't have to worry. You just have to select what actives you would like to work with. I guess
Yeah.
that's the world.
You've done it phenomenally. Like what you've created has changed so many lives, not just here in Australia, but literally globally. Like it's an astounding range.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
impressive.
I'm happy that like people, you know, people do accomplish great results. I'm always truly humbled by how they use the formulas and how they combine the formulas. It's amazing, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely. Do you have any questions for me, or is there anything else that you wanted to go over and chat about?
I will ask one question. Tell me one most popular product. What is the one formula that you pull to? And I just provide a
Alone.
personal thought.
Yeah. Don't even need to think about that one. Alone.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that one. That is like forever.
It's so good. It suits so many different skins. It feels absolutely incredible. It's perfect for my little acne baby clients that come in. It's perfect for, you know, my more mature skins, my sensitive skins. It's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. It's a godsend.
Yeah. That is one I gotta say that the Illum is a complex product. It's a complex product.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever you did to create that, top job.
no,
I think we definitely have like a top tier of products. Loom would be up there. Contour. Contour is phenomenal. Like the amount of peptides in that product. Just, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that contour is beautiful. I work with contour in the winter to clear any kind of sun damage, or you know, like I was talking eyebrows, like in on the lids. So like if I miss sun screen on my lids, I don't know if you've ever had that. And then you know, miss this one spot, and you're like, what happened to
No. I actually get yelled at, not yelled at, but he gives me a stern talking to my skin doctor because I have a very English skin. So I do have a lot of freckles and moles, but I didn't necessarily realize I wasn't reapplying as much to my lips as what I should. And he's given me a stern warning for it. He's like, you need to reapply zinc on your lips because
yeah.
cancer gets there so well. We're in Queensland here in Australia, and everyone you know is probably skin cancer cut out, or they've known someone that suffered from it. So I think is really important. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. You can't ignore it. I agree with you that sunscreen is something that you absolutely must, especially if you're working with actives. It is the thing, right? During winter time, like right now I'm in Florida, so and it's winter here, but it's not. You're still getting the sun exposure. It's still
Right.
semi-warm. So
Is there
yeah,
a
so it's
reason? Like, do you think tonic would bring out a zinc SPF, or is there just too many? Because I know here in Australia, the TGA is quite strict on a lot of SPF and zinc rules. Is that the reason why you haven't brought one out?
no. So No, it's actually really hard to formulate. First of all, the sunscreen without fillers,
Yeah.
because the fillers um in that particular product actually assist with spreadability, and then also the way that it holds on skin. So in this particular case, you want the film former to be there. That doesn't mean you can't formulate it. It just means that it's an opportunity to innovate and create something extremely amazing that is very different in the space. So that doesn't mean that we're not thinking about it. And there are, so like for us, the US has different FDA and cosmetics as far as regulations. They have very, what we would call more relaxed.
Yeah.
So when we think about formulas and so on, we formulate for the EU and those regulations. We do not necessarily follow the, do you know what I mean? So it's a lot better to be strict from our perspective. And you know what? I was going to tell you that there are different zincs too, like purities of zincs. So, and that's interesting as well. So like not every zinc is can be as pure as it can be. Some zinc is natural and some zinc is lab made and comes out to be pure. So
Yeah.
that was very interesting to me.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
I appreciate you coming and talking to me from all the way across the world. And this amazing episode, like we've covered so much and a lot of hot topics that people want to know about as well. So I think they'll just find it great.
I love that it's technical. I'm excited. If you get questions, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. And look, if you're ever in Australia, come and visit me and we can do another episode and you can get a facial while you're actually doing another episode.
And I could use there's a huge demand for a filler-free facial. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Huge demand. So popular. Yeah. I've been sitting here for hours and hours just chatting about skincare and ingredients and conditions, but don't want to rack your brain too much.
I agree.
Thank you, Irene.
So I loved it. Thank you. I loved being I love talking about science. It's great.
Perfect.
Thank
All right.
you guys. I'm gonna think out.
Yeah, perfect. All right. You have a wonderful day.
You too. You too. Take care. Bye.
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 Bye. Yeah.
Bye.